Good morning, all. Tradingology.com trading room for September 23rd. We got a Wednesday. Get you guys in here. See how you're doing this fine Wednesday. Flooding the doors open. Good to see you guys.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good.
You want to walk down the bottom of your state there and see what's going on in Congress? See what he's testifying about? I tried to watch the video early, and it was just a guy shaking in his chair when it was supposed to start.
Where are you watching it?
I think it was live on CNBC at the time, but I turned it off.
I mean, he must have said something that kind of dipped the market a little bit when he started testifying at 10 o'clock. So
that's what I was trying to figure out, because shortly after that happened, I'm like, well, it was a few minutes before he was due to go on. And that's when they showed the one guy, some chairman or whoever it was, just like rocking with his mask on. I'm like, okay, that's a weird live feed.
He probably did a whisper to somebody, and they spread it throughout the world.
Right. Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Greg. Good to see you.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, he had that gray mask on, and I mean, it was kind of a cool looking mask, actually. I mean, as far as masks go.
Oh, from yesterday?
Was that yesterday or was this morning? I think he was wearing the glass one behind the glass. Maybe that was yesterday. Maybe they're playing a clip from yesterday.
That could be it.
Later this morning. Yeah. What color do you have on today?
Oh, just black today.
So yeah, CNBC right now is not even. They don't have it on.
Gotcha. Maybe they're playing something.
They really don't care. He's going to say the same thing he says every day. Yeah, everything's fine.
Right. All right. Well, we know what today is, right?
Today is VXX day.
So out of curiosity, Greg, if you care to share, did you have anything scoped out on what you were looking at entering if you said you were getting ready to open? We'll ask you a little quiz, see if you see where you were thinking about your strikes or what you were thinking about doing. Maybe he was going long.
Now, be honest with us.
There is no wrong answer, Greg. Don't worry.
We just told you what we're going to do. Yeah, there's no wrong answer here.
While Greg's thinking about it, I'll just take a peek and see what's going on. We've definitely turned negative sign of the internals. Oh, he's getting ready to open it.
Okay. I think he's going to open a position. All right.
Hey, we told you, Greg, there was no wrong answer, and I love that one.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer.
I want to give a shout out to Dan T, new member. He's in the Zoom room. He's in the trading room. So welcome, Dan.
Hey, welcome, Dan.
Brand
Thanks,
new.
guys. I'm excited to be
part
of the team.
Unmute himself too.
Yeah, so we've got. I think we got some good things going here. I think we'll just kind of watch a little bit. I put on a yesterday. I don't know if you saw that in the RTUS, but I put on a SPY VIX trade. SPY VXX. Yeah.
That was a nice little trade there, sir. Well done.
Yeah, it just looked like a really nice positive day, so I went long SPY and short the VXX, and it worked out well. Today is definitely less certain, although we're getting a little bit of a bid here on the YM.
I was watching too. There was some unusual activity for the number of orders I saw as I was watching the ladder this morning, where at some time, I can pull this over. Let me jump back into it so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is watching the ES. We'll pull this guy over. I was noticing At the time, it was up here in the 3309, 3310 area. But there was like a 500, 600, 700, and then all of a sudden the bids just dropped away. Like all these hundreds went to like 5. Then it just sank. It's like, well, something, there was like, you see it pop up here where the subscription I have shows me a little bit more. Usually it's orderly, and yeah, there you will see larger ones at the big round numbers, like we call them in the specifics, like 3,300. They'll be large orders that are entered. But it was there was a lot of short. I shouldn't say short, but like say for example, 3295.50 had a 500 orders, and then 500 showed up down here. So there was a lot of, I think, people manipulating going on. You could almost see it happen just with the order quantities. They would disappear, then they'd come back. They'd disappear and they come back across the board, which was not normal. As I watch this on a day-to-day basis, and I take, you know, shorter trades here and there when I'm jumping in and jumping out, there was a nice perfect trade that set up to the downside from 10 points from 3,300 down to 3,290 here before this support level. That played out nicely, but I was watching, it was right after the opens when I saw this happen. So it was prior to the big move down. So I think the more I watch, the more I'm like, there's another clue that something's happened, because
Yeah.
if suddenly these hundreds of orders that are stacked up disappear on either side, there's something weird going on.
Right.
So be on your toes if you see that. That's the one thing I would just let you guys know.
Do you know where? Do you know which where the routing is on those orders? Where is it going through?
Oh, I'd have to pull and see which one Tradeabate's routing through on this one. I don't know off the top of my head. Do you know if they show easily, or is it more of a hidden thing?
I think it's kind of a hidden thing. You have to kind of dig deep to find out if it's through BATS or ARCA or something like that.
Right.
I don't think they use dark pools, but they're more retail orientated.
Right. Which it's probably less of that, because just watching like the NQs when there's only less than 10, you know, there's a lot more than 1 or 2 bids on these contracts.
Yeah. There's plenty of liquidity out there for those. Did you try to contact them about the new micro E-mini option contracts? Did they ever get back to you on that?
I have not seen any responses from them yet. Apparently I'm not on the top of their list for customer service.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe I don't want to be on the top of any list at any brokerage.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to hang tight on that one for VXX. Interesting reversal. How's cryptos doing? I haven't looked this morning. Oh,
they're pretty flat to down a little bit, only because the dollar index is back up again. It's up about 1/3% there.
I was just pulling that over here.
It looks like Thinkorswim has the new micro E-mini contracts on, at least on the paper trading side. So they must be on the live side too.
Nice.
Whoa, a lot of strike prices. What? Wow. Jeez. I gotta switch from all to like 10. The pricing is a bit strange. I don't know if that's accurate. What the heck? I'm going to have to log into my real account to see if I can get a different answer on these. But, I mean, oh, here we go. All right, that makes more sense. No, it doesn't. So a single contract on the MNQ is like $646.
Oh.
Yeah. Very, very strange. Let me see what the open interest is.
I can't pull up any options on MES. It shows contracts, but then it said there's none available.
Yeah, I saw an announcement from the CME saying that they had like their first week of trading, they've done like, or the first month of trading, they've done like 100,000 contracts, which is pretty small actually. Not huge, but
Here we go. I look at the right chain. So here's the ES micros.
yeah, I mean, there's not even, yeah. Yeah, yeah. They have strike prices like all over the place. That's not too bad. That's a little bit more liquid. I had the MNQ, it had nothing. So $27 for a single option. I guess if you picked it, I mean, the SPY is much more liquid than this. Obviously, I mean, there's not as many contracts, but on this one, I mean, the SPY at the money is with 2 days left. Holy cow! Try to sell one of those. Try to sell one of those and see what you. So that would be like a $2,400. No, sell it. Sell out of the money, like up around the 33.25 strike or something. So it's way down at the bottom. Go way over to the left and sell it.
I was just trying to look at the bids there.
So yeah, so you got $1,200 on a single contract. Is that right? Confirm that, because I don't know if they're pricing these right.
I don't want them.
You can't do it. Oh, there you go.
1237.
Yeah, 12. Yeah. Well, no, it's only a credit of $60.
Oh yeah. So
how are they pricing these options? It's not 100 to 1. It's not 100 to the contract like a normal ETF option. It's literally one contract. But it says 62.50 credit, but the pricing was 12.
Right. 12.
Yeah, it's 12.50. So it's a half of an MNQ contract. Is that how they're doing that? A half of an MNQ contract, because if you sell two of those, then it would be $120, $125. I don't know. I need to go back and watch that CME option webinar on the.
Yeah, something's not right there.
Yeah.
Now it's $10. It just dropped $2 that fast.
Wow. Yeah, now it's $147 credit. Wow.
I hit 3. I thought I hit 2 only.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious that these are still very, very young,
Yeah.
illiquid. So don't trade them yet. Because I was thinking about using them for the HOLM1, where you end up buying the contract and selling the futures if you think the market's going to decline. And you can do that kind of on a 30-day contract.
That's how it's just going to look like. The ones that are over 30 days, they're $100.
Yeah.
So more on that later.
Yes, definitely. So we'll have to come back and revisit that one. But yeah, the US dollar index is up again. So the next support area I'm looking at is right around the 96 level on the DXY. Cryptocurrencies have been declining. I mean, we had a little bit of a bid yesterday because the DXY didn't really do anything. But for you guys, especially Dan, who's new, there's an inverse correlation between the DXY, which is the US dollar index, and cryptocurrencies. And when we see a strong move in the DXY, we will see typically a decline in cryptocurrencies, and that's really been playing out. And we also see, it seems like, here's what's going on from what I can tell. is that we get a rise in the DXY, cryptocurrencies either decline or don't do anything. But if we see a large stock market move down, then cryptocurrencies kind of accelerate to the downside. So I'm looking at both of them. I'm looking at, like yesterday, the DXY was up, but cryptocurrencies really didn't get killed too bad. They were just kind of moving sideways. But when we get a decline in the stock market too, and the DXY is going up, then we get a real sharp sell-off in crypto.
Eli's asking about last week's VXX trade. I still have mine on. I haven't heard that Dave closed his, so I believe we still both have them on.
Yep, still got it.
And Andre's asking us today the masterclass. Are you referring to VXX, Andre? If so, that is why we do sprinkle in the VXX discussions on Wednesdays, and then I do carve that out. It doesn't get posted on YouTube, since we do keep that to members only. Oh, Wealth Masterclass, that is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, so anybody that's in the Wealth Masterclass, the update is tomorrow, yes. We will get out more notifications. I think some people getting them, some people aren't. But yeah, thanks for the reminder, Andre. So you guys that are in there, Dave's class is tomorrow at 1 Eastern.
And also, take a look at the bottom on the DXY. You've got it on daily, which is good. That little bottom that stuck down there around September, beginning of September. So if you're a Wyckoff guy, if you do any kind of trading based on Wyckoff analysis, that's kind of a spring right there. And a spring is typically a bottoming pattern in an accumulation phase. So that accumulation phase here goes back maybe the end of July through the middle to end of September. So yeah, when we got down, about the 28th, 29th, right around in there. That's all accumulation in there. And then we had that spring, which is at the bottom there on September 1st, I guess. And then, and that kind of gave us an indication that the dollar was going to move higher. And we had that discussion before that when the Federal Reserve started doing stimulus back in 2008, 2009, it seemed to indicate, because there was so much money flooding the market, that we should see a dollar decline, but instead the dollar went up. So not quite sure if we're seeing a bottoming pattern here initially in the US dollar and how far we're going to go up. If you kind of zoom out a little bit, the 104 area was previous resistance. Right over there, right around 103, sorry. So, boy, if we get another sell-off, that happened right around the outbreak, and we had a very, very sharp rise in the U.S. dollar, and I think it peaked on the bottom, at the bottom of the market on the 12th or 14th, right about in there. Yeah, so it was a couple of days after the bottom of the market, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye on that, because I think that, since we have not had any repo news, right, overnight, because they're not doing repos anymore. And the reason for that is they lowered all the reserve requirements to the bank for the banks. They don't have any reserve requirements anymore. And so they don't have to get liquid at the end of each day, because the Federal Reserve is supplying all the cash that they need. So my question is, and whether or not we're going to be seeing anything like that at all again in the rise in the dollar, is because of a new decline in the market. If we see another sharp decline in the market, is that why the dollar is rising? Because that's what happened when we had the last big downturn in the stocks. We had a very sharp rise in the dollar, and now we're starting to see the dollar increase again. Is that predicting a decline in stocks? I don't know. I'm kind of keeping an eye on stuff here, and a decline in crypto. Andre said, would you say cryptos are a buy, more accumulation and hold? Well, if the dollar is going to rise, you know, if you go to the DXY and go to a weekly chart and see if you can go back to 2017. Yeah, so see the top in 2017 there? That was when that was also well, if you go back, actually that entire period there, that's about the time that no, that's 2016.
Yep, December, January.
Yeah, we want to go to January 2007, end of 2017, early 2018.
Oh, we're at the bottom. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's where cryptocurrencies topped, right there. So the US dollar index was declining throughout the year, except in September when it started rising a little bit, then it started falling down again. That's when cryptos, that was the last big bull run in crypto, when the US dollar index hit that bottom. And ever since then, the dollar has risen right through March of this year, and we have had a decline in crypto. So if we're seeing now a new bull market in the dollar, we may end up going much lower on crypto. I don't know if I would buy at these levels yet.
The blue maybe in the future again.
Yeah, I really want to see what the dollar is going to do here, because that big run in the dollar from early 2018 through 2020, that's the exact opposite of what happened in crypto this entire time. I wish I knew this back in 2017. Geez, I wouldn't have bought. I wouldn't have started buying crypto. I'd hold out until March, when we see that spike in the dollar and the decline in the in cryptos. But would you sell big XRP positions or just keep it? You know, I spent so much money and time accumulating XRP at this point. I know here's the big picture. The big picture is, in the long run, the US dollar will decline. And that is because of all the money printing that's going on. As soon as they stop, it's probably going to crash. When the US dollar crashes, cryptos are going to skyrocket. And you can't time that. It's going to be very, very tough to time. So I'm not going to put any more money into the crypto market personally at this point, but I'm not going to sell either. I'm just going to hold what I got. It really depends on what happens in the stock market. If we see stocks going down, we see the dollar going up, we see oil crashing, crypto's going to get killed. It might be a good time to deploy some new money at that point. Yeah, but
that's why we always use money that we don't need to pull back out right away, that you can, especially when you're doing, you know, cryptocurrency investing. It was always only invest what you can afford to lose, and or just let it sit there for a long time. Whether it was $100 or $1,000, whatever that number is a personal decision for you. So I think Andre, that's what he's getting back to. Is like, yep, he's got that investment, and he doesn't have to pull it out. He just doesn't have to worry about it. So it can sit there for years if it took that long. We don't know. It could be months. It could be weeks. It could be a couple of years. Nobody knows. But yeah, it's just there for just in case. It's kind of like that hedge for big trouble.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm just telling you what I'm doing, so it's not personal advice at all, disclaimer time. But at the same time, I am keeping a very close eye on the dollar and stocks.
Eli, definitely go back and watch the video. I'll get this one posted as soon as I can. We are waiting and pausing to enter a new trade. But yes, as long, depending on your accounts, you can absolutely have more than one position on any given time. So you can have 2 or 3 weeks on sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually it doesn't happen, but it is possible.
Yeah, usually I have 2 on almost all the time. Sometimes, very rarely 3. Or if I get into one on, if I have 2 on already and I get into another one on a Wednesday, typically like the next day I'm out of the third one. So I usually only have about 2. Rarely do I go have 3 on. But it does happen.
So I'll get the VXX content in the VXX course ASAP. And just a quick wrap is we're waiting maybe till the end of the day to see what it does. If we enter another one, or it could be tomorrow. This is one of the rare times, since this week is a little different with the volatility around Powell testifying.
Yeah, and MT volatility is high, so that's my primary reason. And Powell, yes, Powell can and does move the market at times, and so we'll see what happens. I mean, it really doesn't look that bad. I think we have had volatility because the Dow's up 200, and it's down now.
Yeah, it's not like it's shooting anywhere. Like this is a tiny little candle for today, so nothing
Yeah,
major is going on right now.
yeah,
It's just a little pause because you just never know in this day and age and this year for that fact.
yeah, especially this year, yeah, definitely. So we're just gonna wait till the end of the day,
Yep.
or maybe tomorrow morning.
Appreciate you coming out. Decent turnout. Again, Dan, good.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We'll catch you for one more tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend coming up. So,
Yep, and 1 o'clock tomorrow, Wealth Masterclass update.
yes, absolutely.
All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks, Dan.
See you later, guys.